morning and welcome to another episode of Drew's Book Reviews. So today on Drew's Book Reviews, we are going to be talking about aliens, parasites, and all kinds of crazy stuff. This is The Alliance, Book 3. Stay tuned. Alright, so it is time to talk about Genesis, Book 3, The Alliance by Lawrence P. White. If you have not checked out my reviews yet on Ship's Log and Conception, please do so. I will link them in the description below, so definitely go and check those out. So this is a three-part series that started with Ship's Log and ends here with Genesis, and it's about our main character, Greg, who has effectively found himself involved in the middle of an intergalactic war between two alien species, and he's stuck in the middle essentially. So within this book series, one thing I can say is it definitely feels heavily influenced by Star Trek. And I was reading some reviews on Goodreads about this series, and I'm not the only one who's thought so. So there are a few comments about how some of the species and ideas within this book definitely seem to be influenced by Star Trek, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Star Trek, after all, is one of my favorite shows ever. I'm a huge Trekkie, so I absolutely am totally into those ideas. And just to get a little bit of what I mean by influenced by Trek is, one, from a starting point, you've got the Harbok, whom I picture look a little something like this. You know, I don't know if that's what Lawrence here had in mind for the Harbok, but based on the description here, I would say they look something like this, kind of this rough, kind of wrinkly-skinned humanoid alien species. The Harbok, you could imagine, are like the Klingons of this book series. So they are this warrior-like race who basically their entire lives and purpose revolves around the battle and the war. And then you've got the An-Anti, who I would imagine would be the Vulcans of this story. They are an excessively peaceful people whose sole focus is exploration and scientific research. And then we've got the Ort. The Ort are scary. They're these parasitic life forms, which I imagine look something like this. Based on the description of the book, they latch onto you and they just start taking over your mind and really Uh-oh. It's on my shoulder. You guys have any idea how to get this thing off me? It's kind of starting to creep me out. We are the Ort. Resistance is futile. Your biological distinctiveness will adapt to service ours. You will become one with the Ort. Whew. For a minute there, I thought I'd been taken over by the Ort. I guess it was just all in my imagination. Anyway, back to the review now. You lose yourself, you lose your identity, you lose all self-will and motivation. In a way, you could say the Ort are like the Borg of this series. Like the Borg, they control you, they have this hive mind mentality, and they really just mess with you all the way. And this is the threat that is threatening the extinction of the Harbok. There are so many worlds that have been taken over by the Ort. As we go through the story, our characters come across this world that is basically a world of Ortbok. So they are the Ort world that has been taken over. They're being controlled in its entirety. There are no survivors. They are all these Ortbok creatures who are being controlled through a single hive mind. So very eerie, kind of reminiscent of this whole idea of the Borg from Star Trek. So you can really see the influence of Trek within these books. And like I said, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Ultimately, in the end, I don't think there is such a thing as a original story or concept. I don't think such a thing actually exists anymore. We've been telling stories for thousands and thousands of years. So there are lots of original ways of telling stories. But the story ideas and concepts in and of themselves, and the ideas, are not necessarily original, but there are many, many good stories, and there's lots of good ways to tell a story, and there's good writing. The whole Alliance book series, I found, has been a good, enjoyable read. I'm loving the whole idea concept. You've got the peaceful people, you've got the people who have known nothing but war for centuries, and you got Earth, who's caught in the middle, and Greg, who has to set up this alliance, essentially. Think about the formations of a united federation of planets. So again, we kind of see the Trek influence in that. But Greg here, he's trying to figure this out and unite Earth, Ananti, and Harbach against this threat. Excuse me, that's better. So he's trying to unite a group of people who have no faith in the other's ability to help them win this war. So the Harbach just cannot trust the Ananti to help them win this war. And Greg here is stuck in the middle. So he's in a very difficult position in having to figure it all out, bring that trust into the equation, and help people figure out what they want to do, where they want to go, how they want to put it all together, and to have success in defeating this threat that threatens the entire galaxy. So the combination of the advanced science, research, and technology of the Ananti, with the fighting powers and ability of the Harbach, and with Earth's fighting powers as well, who lack both technology and interstellar space fighting experience. So all this comes together as the three worlds unite for an epic conclusion, which was really, really good, by the way. I absolutely love the way this ended. I don't want to get into spoilers, but there's a lot of action. There's a good ending to this, and everything just wraps out where Greg has to make this incredibly difficult decision in order to win the war and end the threat forever. And it could not have been an easy decision. Even though the Ord are like these hive minds that control everything, definitely it can still be a difficult decision to pull the trigger, so to speak, as it's commonly referred to in the book. You need to be able to pull the trigger, something that Ananti just can't do. So for the decisions that Greg has to make here, it's not an easy one, because he knows what the consequences will be, but he also knows that this threat must be ended. And so, working with the Harbach and the Ananti, they bring the war to the Ord. So I don't want to say too much more lest there be spoilers involved, and I really don't want to spoil anything on that. But ultimately, I would say that this is a good book series. I really enjoyed it, and I think it's well worth reading. It's worth picking up, worth checking out, and overall, just really enjoying it. Great ending there. And definitely, I've given this a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, so definitely go check it out, and I will absolutely link in the description below my review to the first 2, Ship's Log and Conception, and now Genesis, the Birth of the Alliance, essentially is what this one is all about. And great book series, really enjoyed it. So again, thank you so much, Lawrence, for sending me copies of your book. I really super duper appreciate it. And yeah, those are just some of my thoughts and feelings on this. Go check it out, well worth the read. And yeah, if you have read it, let me know. If you haven't, go read it. So thank you so much for watching. I'll try to put a link down below in Amazon as to where you can buy this book as well, so definitely check it out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you're having yourself a great day, and we will see you next time on the next episode of Drew's Book Reviews. Until then, bye, and keep on reading.